live. Hello, everybody. Ooh, Annie's on. Annie, I have 2 special guests for you if they come out here. Come here, Luca. Come here. What? I played outfield. A question already came in. I haven't even covered anything. I play outfield. Let me see. Okay, we got Kiowa here with us today, guys. You guys got to meet Luca last time. We're learning how to play fetch right now. He's got the concept of going to get the ball. He just doesn't have the concept of giving me the ball back. Come here, bud. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi, everybody. Say hi. Say hi. Get your ball. All right. This used to be an old softball that he decided to chew up. All right. Looks like we got a couple people on here. Hi, hi, hi. Okay, I'm gonna give it one more second. He's coming back with the ball. I'll wave at everyone. He's back. Wave. You gotta give me the ball if you want me to throw it. All right, looks like we got a good amount of people on here. Today we are going to be talking about bunts. We're going to talk about sack bunts, we're going to talk about squeeze bunts, and we're going to talk about sneaky bunts. Those are pretty much the most common bunts you're going to do. I haven't heard of any other ones. Maybe they have different names, but same concept. So first we are going to talk about a sack bunt. Okay, so with our sack bunt, all right, let me put it this way. So if you're on defense and there's a runner at first base, and what do you think is coming next? So either they're going to hit away or you're anticipating a bunt, right? So as that batter who's getting that bunt sign, you should already know that everyone knows you're bunting. The corners are going to be anticipating to crash. The middles are going to be shifting where they need to go. And even the people in the stands knows you're bunting, okay? So at that point, just get that in your head that everyone knows you're bunting. So at this point, your only job is to get your job done, and that's bunting, okay? The only thing you need to do is get that ball on the ground and give your runner a chance to get to second base. If you're safe at first, awesome. That's another perk. But to start off, you just need to get your job done. At that point, you matter by getting your job done, but you don't matter as a base runner. If we get you as a base runner, that's a bonus. So when we talk about the bunt, I'll go ahead and show you guys what that looks like. Let me see, move this down a little bit. Okay. So when we talk about a sack bunt, you're not really worried about what timing you get when the pitcher's winding up, because like I said, everyone knows you're bunting already. So at that point, you just get squared up and you get ready to bunt. So whether that ball's up, down, if it's up or low, go ahead and let it go, because you want to be able to execute that bunt and you want a good pitch. So if it's a ball, it's a ball. No harm, no foul. But if that's a strike, you need to make sure you're being a team player. Thank you, Janine, for just saying that as I was bringing that up. You're being a team player and getting your job done. Okay, so when we talk about sack bunts, it's all about getting your job done. Nothing else matters. That you got your job done, you moved your runner. Okay, then we move on to the squeeze. Same thing with the squeeze. You have a runner on third base. It's a little different than the sack bunt because you want to be a little more sneaky with it, because you don't want your girl getting hosed at third. If they know that you are going to bunt already, then they don't worry about you. They worry about getting the runner out at home. And that's not what we want, because if we're doing a squeeze bunt, we want that runner to score. So when we're doing a squeeze, it's a little different because it does matter that we bunt that ball. Whatever pitch that is, either we bunt it fair or we bunt it foul. We just have to make sure we protect our runner at third. Okay? So with the squeeze bunt, you're going to be bunting the ball no matter where it's pitched. If it's all the way above your head, swing at it, try to tip it, whatever it is, make it foul. If it's on the floor, drop your knee, get down there. Whatever you have to do to touch that ball so it's either foul or it's fair. As long as you don't bunt it in the air, you'll be okay. So with that squeeze, you have a runner on third base. They're coming home. You need to make sure you get that ball in play or you get that ball in foul to protect that runner at third. Okay? Because if she's out at third and you're out at first, like, that's not helpful for us, right? Be a team player in any bunt situation, because as soon as you get that sign to bunt, what you do only matters as far as how you're helping your team out. Okay, so let me see if we have any questions. Ooh, someone has a Weimaraner too? A play date. I have a Weimaraner and a German short hair pointer. Hunting dogs, very active. And they're both actually Luca just turned a year last month. But very active puppies. Let's see. Be a team player, sacrifice yourself for the team. Exactly. Bunts, sacrifice yourself as a team. Squeeze and sacrifices, you only need to get your job done. That's all you're concerned about. If you get on base, awesome. But all that matters is you move that runner and you got your job done. Let's see. Moving runners equals less than 2 outs. With less. Yes, moving the runner with less than 2 outs, always a plus. Is there only one situation where you would use a sack bunt? No, there's not only one situation where you'd be using a sack bunt, but that is the most common situation. Sometimes that's the most common situation, is runners at first going to second. Other than that, it's usually more of a sneaky bunt. The sack bunt is just primarily you're sacrificing your at-bat. It's a sack bunt. You're putting it and you're getting that runner to move rather than swinging away. Whatever it takes. My dog turned 1 in November. Oh, I love to see pictures. Okay. So we talk about sack bunts and squeeze bunts. Those are the ones you need to get your job done. Now we talk about sneaky bunts. Those at that point is when you get to be a little selfish and get on base. So sneaky bunts, either you get a sign for it or you do it on your own because you notice something in the defense. You notice that the corners are playing really far back. So if you're good at bunting and you could just drop a small bunt right there and it's going to land perfectly, then go for a squeeze bunt. If you get the sign because your coaches pick up something, that bunt is more so, instead of you having to worry about getting a base hit, if you're really good at the short game, it's sneaky. It's like, hey, I could do this too. A lot of the times we talk about that situation, even if you're a power hitter, you hit a couple foul balls, some bombs to the left field line or right field line, and they see that you're hitting bombs and you see everyone back up and you're just like, hey, I'm fast. Let me do a sneaky bunt. Just drop that sneaky bunt. It's another tool to have in your pocket. What's the point of hitting a ball? What is the point of hitting a bad ball farther for a squeeze? Okay, so the question is, what is the point of hitting a bad ball farther for a squeeze? So I'm assuming you're talking about just hitting it out. For a squeeze, you have a runner who, when you get that squeeze sign, the runner's looking at it and the hitter's looking at it, right? So you both are on the same page. Me, as a base runner, as soon as I got that squeeze sign, I was even leaving a little bit early. So that is a dead sprint straight to home. Like, unless that ball's in the air, that was the only time I was stopping, because it is a squeeze and I need to make sure I'm getting home. So then again, as being the hitter, if I know that my base runner at third is coming full sprint at home, I need to protect her. So if I can't get that bunt down because either the ball's on the floor, the ball's way in the air, I need to do whatever it takes. So I need to hit it foul. Try not to hit it in the air. Try not to bunt it in the air, because that does no good for anybody. Your runner's already all the way to home. She has to stop and try to get back before they throw her out at third, get a double play. No one wants that. So as that bunter, I know I need to get that bunt down or I need to get it foul. So that's what I'm talking about. That's the point of hitting it foul for a squeeze, is you're protecting that runner if you can't get your job done. That's not worst case scenario, but that's after the fact that you can't get that bunt down, because that pitch is just nowhere to realistically get that bunt down. Good question though. Any other questions before I get into squeezes? Maybe you know the pitcher. Yes, maybe you know the pitcher can't field a bunt very well. I know I actually had a pitcher like that on my travel ball team, where I knew she couldn't throw overhand, and we would do a lot of inner scrimmages. So we'd scrimmage against each other at practices, and I would bunt to her every single time because I knew I was going to be safe. And so it's just, one, your softball IQ. Read the defense, understand the game, and understand also your abilities. And then two, take advantage of things you see like that on the field. So if you see the pitcher can't throw overhand to first base, the chances that she's going to get you out tossing the ball to their first baseman is kind of slim. So if you're fast and you're confident in your small game, do it. Why not? Single's a single, whether you hit the ball past the infield or you bunted it and got on first. A single is a single. You were at first base. You are now a runner for your team. All right, so now we're getting into that sneaky bunt. So just like I said, you're observing the field. Either you get the sign that it's a sneaky bunt, or you just see something that you're like, hey, I could get this bunt down right now, and go ahead and do it. So that kind of looks a little different, because with a sneaky bunt, you want to show it later. You don't want to show it where they have time to start crashing. You want to show it very last minute. So I learned 2 ways to sneaky bunt. When I was younger, it was more a stance and drop my barrel, just drop my bat in my hands and just sneaky bunt it. And then another way was, I'll show you right now, was just to get into running position already and drop it, but very last minute. So that looks a little bit, let me actually bring this down again. Oops, sorry. Okay, so that looks like me in my batting stance. The first one that I talked about was dropping this down. So I'd be in my batting stance, and all I would do last minute is drop this and then show bunt. And then I take off running. Then the next one, because I wanted to get to first, right? That's the whole point of sneaky bunting. Usually it's not in a situation where I need to be moving runners that I sneaky bunt. We'll play fetch later. Okay, the next one is here, and you just bring your hands here. So you don't necessarily need to drop it. You just come, cross over, and notice I'm already squared up to run to first base, because at that point it's just drop and run. I tried. Okay, so let me actually go through, since I have the camera set up, to all the bunts. So sacrifice bunt, everyone knows you're bunting already. At that point, just square up, get in there, get your job done, right? If it's too high, pull it back. If it's low, pull it back. But if it's anywhere in your strike zone, or anywhere you can get a good, left-handed throw, or anywhere you could get your bunt down, then do it, okay? So now with squeezes, it's a little bit more last minute. So you don't want to be there squared up like, hey, everyone, I'm squeezing, because remember, that girl's coming home. So this way, you're just here, and same thing as sneaky bunt, except you could get a little more squared up, so you're not in running position to take off, because you want to make sure you see that ball down and then you run. That's also a tip. When you know that you're not bunting for a base hit, stay there until you see the ball down. Make sure your ball is getting down before you take off running, because like I said, you being a base runner is a bonus, but you getting your job done is the priority here. So see that ball down, see it get fair, and take off. Because if you're fast, you get on base, cool, but you definitely want to make sure that ball is down. Is a sneaky bunt different than a squeeze? Yes, a sneaky bunt is different than a squeeze, because you don't have a runner depending on you to get your job done. A sneaky bunt is primarily for you to get another way to get a single, right? Another way to be a base runner. A squeeze is somebody else is depending on you to get that job done. It's this, you take the same mindset as, you don't want to show it too early. You want to be more discreet about it. But at the end of it, you're more concerned about getting that ball done than you getting on first. With a sneaky, you more want to be on first base than anything else. Or second, if they overthrow it, who knows? Good thing you're done. Let's see, any more questions? Good thing. Good thing for your dogs that you hit the ball with your bat so it goes far. Yes, this guy is learning how to play fetch, but he doesn't understand the fact that he's supposed to give me the ball if he wants it to be thrown. He wants me to chase him for it. So he's just waiting there for me to get the ball from him. Kai, come here. Come here. And he's watching Luca, because Luca's staring at him. All right. Any more questions, guys, about bunts? Oh, hello. Plus situations. Okay. So now a couple drills to work on these bunts is have someone just toss you a ball and just in your head say, okay, I'm doing a sack situation here. So just worry about getting all those bunts down. If it's a ball, take it. But sack situation, just work about getting that ball down. Make sure it's not in the air. And just know the situation that you're in. And then change your mindset to doing squeezes. So at that point, you're bunting everything possible. Any pitch. And have your person, whoever's pitching to you, have them pitch you some wild pitches just so you get used to it. And then sneaky, go ahead and just practice that running form. Getting into that running form as soon as you drop that bat head down to bunt. Any more questions, guys, before I sign off? And also, make sure whoever's pitching to you is doing the motion. So this way you understand at what point in time you're supposed to get set up for that sneaky bunt. Are there any other kinds of bunts? There might be other names for them, but for the most part, those are the 3 bunts. You have stinky, you have sacrifice, and you have a squeeze. Let's see. Any other questions? All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. If we don't have any other questions, be sure to tune in at 1 p.m. for some more